Hi guys, so this is where the first video started. I wasn't actually going to make this video, I was going to hold off for a while, but I think it's a good time to make it now. Just give you a little view again of the other side of the home gym. This is where I come whenever I'm feeling like shit. Just need to get a workout done. So there's the little intro to it. Last time all I showed was a few plates. I guess that's all I did this time as well, but this video I really want to make about antidepressants, because I have just upped my medication. I was on 5 milligrams of Lexapro. I've been on that now for, well, I was on that for over, what was it, over a month? Yeah, about a month's supply. And now for 11 days I've been on 10 milligram of Lexapro. And I'm fucking feeling it. And that's the thing, like when I work out in particular, I notice it, especially in the early days, even if I've been on medication already. So when I up the medication, even, like if I haven't taken it at all and then I go on to a new medication, then I'll feel it, and I give myself like a grace period. So I feel like shit right now, if I'm being honest. Really dizzy. I almost have to remind myself to lock out my arms. I was doing upper body session there, so locking out for bench press. And I get muscle spasms. That's something that is a side effect, and God knows there's enough, and I seem to experience a lot. This isn't particularly about working out on SSRIs, but I will talk about that because it seems like as good a time as ever to talk about that. This won't be really autism related, this will just be antidepressants. And particularly selective serotonin reuptake inhibitors, which is what SSRI stands for. Basically what that just means is, now I've just studied it and done my own research, you can do more research online, but it just means that basically because they say there's a chemical imbalance, the medication, sorry, just get that angle, the medication blocks your serotonin receptor, like your neurotransmitter. So it blocks it, create more free serotonin that can be uptaken again. And obviously, like, you think to yourself, well, if it's blocking the serotonin receptor, which is what I thought, is like, if it blocks it, then how is that going to help my depression? But it's reuptaken, so it comes back up when there's more free serotonin actually floating around, which can then be reuptaken by another. That's why it's selective serotonin. That's why they call it that. But it also explains why you feel more depressed, or can do. You may not, but because there's less serotonin being uptaken, at least in the early days, that's why you start to feel shittier, and then you can actually feel suicidal. So it seems a bit counterproductive, doesn't it? But this won't be a very long video, but just wanted to touch on the science behind it. Basically just blocks the site, and then you've more free happy hormone floating around. Now I've been on 3 SSRIs. This is my third Lexapro, or escitalopram as it's also called. So you've got your brand name and also your chemical name, make it sell better. So I was on Prozac, or fluoxetine, it's the chemical name, when I was 15, and my experience with that was, and I've experienced it with all of them, but that really lowered my sex drive. I think I said it before, but I went 3 months without ejaculating. And I'm not saying that in a giddy, stupid way. I'm saying that in a serious way. We're all adults, so don't be thinking what you're thinking. But yeah, like, that's not normal, especially for someone around that age. I think I was a little bit older. Like, I was on and off it quite a bit because I felt like that was very young and I was too immature to be taking a medication like that. I didn't understand. I guess you can't until you actually take it. But you don't understand what it's doing to your body, and it made me feel like shit, and I lost a lot of weight, which, you know, it can either make you gain weight or lose weight. Now, I was doing a shit ton of exercise. I felt groggy all the time. My sex drive was non-existent, and it was very concerning because I thought I'm supposed to be at my sexual peak here. And it's embarrassing. Like, doctors don't talk to you about that. They just tiptoe around the subject, and they really should mention it. You know, like, it's kind of just left up to you to read up on the side effects. So my advice is do your own research, because they're not going to tell you about it. At least in my experience, they didn't tell me jack shit about it, so you better do your own research, really, which is sad to say, but I got really bad eczema in my arm, and like my doctor well, not my doctor, but the doctor that my family have been saying for years, like, he knows us, and we get on well, like, we like him, but he never mentioned to me that skin sores or eczema could happen. Like, my brother has really bad eczema, so you could put it down to that if he ever got a flare up. But I never had it, and then I was taking this antidepressant, Prozac, fluoxetine, and it caused a flare up in my skin, a really bad rash. And it's just, oh, here's a cream for that, that's eczema, there you go. No mention of this could be caused by the Prozac that you're taking. Maybe we'll lower the dose. No mention whatsoever. It made me feel like shit. So I just felt like my energy was going down. I had to work really hard to keep it up. Sometimes I got a real dysphoric feeling, like real negative type of energy, which made me behave more erratically. So ironically, ironically, I'm using big words here, that I don't fully understand to make myself sound more photosynthesis. Notice the camera keeps zooming in and out, so sorry about that. I'm just filming on my phone again. Got a new phone and I'm trying to use it as much as possible. Where was I? Yeah, so I was always, as I said in previous videos, doing some exercise, and I always just like had an outlet for my energy. But with fluoxetine, and I guess being a stupid teenager as well, I just noticed I was craving alcohol more. I really loved that feeling, and I thought, alcohol's great, and this stuff's shite. This stuff's not making me feel any better, it's making me feel worse. And how am I ever going to be in a relationship if I can't get it up? You know, this is stupid. Like, and no doctors are helping me, so I got real conspiracy theory, and stopped taking it. And then, like, what can happen for a while afterwards is you experience the negative symptoms of depression even worse. And then they go, oh, you're depressed because you're not taking your medication. But in actual fact, I've read up on this, and the medication can make it worse. In some cases, it can really drive you batshit crazy. And they don't really fill you with much confidence. And I've spoken to a few people, it's not just me. Doctors just seem to go, right, that didn't work, let's try another medication. Oh, that didn't work, let's try another one. And then, like, my brother finds venlafaxine very good. It meant to be particularly good for anxiety. But then he takes a really high dose. I was saying it to him that I thought he was becoming a bit dependent on it. We had a good chat about it. Because they just kept upping him to the maximum dose, which for that is 300 milligram. And then they gave him olanzapine, which is a mood stabilizer and antipsychotic. It's commonly used in bipolar. He has severe depression like myself, but it can be used to treat that as well. It's a mood stabilizer, so that depression is a mood disorder, just in case you're wondering. So I moved on in my second year of college to sertraline, Zoloft as it's also known, and I was in a shit headspace, and it did help. Now, at the max I was taking 150 milligrams of that, and it did help, I will say, for sure. But I was really overweight and not doing much exercise at the time, so that's the thing, like, I need to do exercise to stay well, and if I can't do exercise, it makes me feel shitty about myself. If I can't work out to the same level that I have been, I feel terrible. I'm back up to 100 kilos on the bench press. Felt a bit wobbly on that now. And like I said, I have to remind myself to lock out my arms, which isn't great. Just got me thinking about the Barry's tea had. Or is it Lions? No, it's Lions. You know, I benched 100 in the gym last night. 100? I said to my trainer, put on more weights. There are no more. Sorry, just got me thinking about that ad. Anyone Irish will understand what I'm talking about. You see how my mind just goes on and on and on, but yeah, that exercise on antidepressants is tough. Right now, like even as I was about to talk about it, my mouth is so dry. And I wake up with a really dry mouth. And I find cardio really difficult when I'm on a heavy dose of medication. The Lexapro now is it's lighter. I'm on 10 milligrams of that now. There's actually one reason why I stopped taking sertraline was because I was at a rugby league trial for Irish clubs. And looking back on it, I should have never gone. Spoke to the doctor about it again, and safe to say, it was just left up to me. Well, if you feel like you could do it, and if you don't, fair enough. Just don't expect very much of yourself. And I was kind of going, thanks, that's really helpful. And I'm headstrong in that way. Like, I will go and do something just to prove that I can go there and do it and push myself to make it there. And then whatever happens afterwards happens. But we were doing fitness in this trial, and I was dying. It was like 25 degrees Celsius outside, and I was overweight. I was unfit. I felt like shit. And I don't know if I'm giving myself too much praise here, but I don't think anyone in that condition would have even bothered showing up, because you just know. And I will give myself credit, I've pushed myself through so many things, but that's when you kind of feel like throwing in the towel, because you're like, what is the fucking point? I just feel even worse now, because I didn't do what I wanted to do. But we were doing shuttle runs, Broncos, and I started puking, and I finished it like second last or something. I felt fucking awful. I was just happy it was over, if I'm being honest, but I felt dizzy, felt like getting sick, felt like I was going to have a heart attack, you name it. Were loads of lads in really good shape, and I wasn't, and I just felt like, why the fuck did I show up and make a fool of myself? Now, nobody was giving me grief, everybody was just clapping me on, because I mean, if you're getting sick and you're still going, like, you're obviously pushing yourself, even if you're not the same fitness as everybody else, you're obviously pushing yourself as far as you can go. Went to the training session maybe 2 weeks later, and I actually did quite well in the passing drills, and then just felt like, you know what, if we have to do any more, and there was still like an hour left, they told us, and I was like, I'm fucked already. I'm not lasting. And so I noticed I was running a bit funny, went over on my ankle, and I wasn't mentally strong enough at this time to push myself. I was like, I'm fucking done. You know, my body's going to give out anyway, and now my ankle's killing me. I'm done. Never would have done that before, and especially when I was fit, I always just wanted to get fitter and just keep pushing myself. But I'd gone well beyond burnout at this point, and I was on 150 milligrams of Zoloft, sertraline, and I just felt terrible. I was like, nah, I'm done. This was a bad idea. Felt like, oh, you have to be given an opportunity now. And you were talking about how you wanted an opportunity, now you've just blown it. But in reality, there's so much shit going on in the background. I really regret not being fitter for that. That's one thing I'll say. But had to be nicer to myself. Being hard on myself has served me well in some ways, but it's also made me absolutely fucking kill myself in trainings. I need to be easier on myself. Like, I'm not doing much of my program at the minute, and I'm feeling it, you know, like, I'm pushing. I had to push, and I only got, like, I only do about 3 exercises in, try and get legs, upper body, so, like, bench press, flies, dumbbell flies, I love doing them, some cable rows. But usually I'll combine the cable rows with deadlift. And obviously you do squats for legs and Bulgarian split squats. It's my favourites. Or lunges. But that's all I think I can manage at the minute. Lexapro, what I've noticed more with that is that my stomach is in bits. It used to make me really self-conscious. Like, SSRIs have wreaked havoc on my stomach, made me feel really sick, really queasy. And I can hear it rumbling, and I get really self-conscious, going, Jesus, I hope nobody else can hear that, but they probably can. And I go, what's, like, I'm sweating more, which is another side effect. Great, I already am a sweaty bastard to begin with. But how much of that is the antidepressants as well? And then my stomach's churning, I'm starting to get really dry mouth, so I drink a lot of water. And if you are on SSRIs, I recommend you hydrate seriously, especially if you're doing exercise. Make sure to hydrate. Brain fog is something I get really badly, and if I'm coming off, I know I've done this the wrong way, like I've just come straight off antidepressants, but my fucking brain is all over the shop. I get blurred vision sometimes, I spaz out, or black out, that's probably a better word, but it's like tunnel vision as well. Get very dizzy, have to sometimes remind myself of an activity I'm doing, like I did today, which probably isn't great, but here we are. So, yeah, just wanted to touch on that. I'd make a video, I want to make one this week on just sport in general with autism, and then depression as well, because that plays into it. But yeah, I guess this would be one just talking about working out. So I used to be able to do loads, as I summed up in previous videos. Just going out, socialising as well, doing an awful lot, and I thought, great, you know, I'm doing really well. I'm super fit, and I'm working out, I'm lifting serious weight. And then when you have to say to yourself, I can't do that anymore, I'm just burnt out beyond belief. I'm so exhausted. Doctors need to say more clear instructions. You know, like, I know there's only so much they can do, but they really need to, in my opinion, start letting you know of the main side effects. Now, the last doctor I saw, he did make me aware of the stomach problems with Lexapro, Escitalopram. He said it can cause an upset stomach, and that's a common side effect. Dizziness, muscle spasms, my arms will just shake, my neck will start twitching, like that. Not that bad. But yeah, you know, you just need to be made aware of this stuff. How hard is it? Like, if you're going in, you're seriously depressed, you haven't the wherewithal to ask these questions. And you probably couldn't be arsed reading a leaflet, you know. And the answer straight away being, I'm putting you back on this, I'm putting you on this, I'm giving you that. Like, how about we delve into the problem? How about we try therapy first, before we just start doping you up on drugs? It's very easy to become dependent on drugs. You know, especially if you're very anxious. Like, my brother was told, did he want Xanax, did he want beta blockers? I'd like to get him on the channel so he can talk about it himself, but it's just, you shouldn't be told, do you want this, do you want that? It shouldn't be up to you. You know, you're a basket case. Thank God I had the wherewithal to do my own research. It's just a case of, just explain it, you know, and say the side effects, the most common ones. Because there are many. Some are more common than others. Some people might get none, barely any. Some people might get all of them. And then there's some people in between. That's all. You just need to make people aware so they can put their mind at ease. If you're a very anxious person like I am, it just puts my mind at ease to know it. So that's why I thought I'd make a video just letting you guys know. Don't beat yourselves up if you're starting a new antidepressant. I would say, best advice I can give yourself 2 weeks off from the gym. Maybe go do a walk or something like that. A cycle, a run, whatever you prefer doing. Maybe just a light jog though. Don't be trying to break any records. I've made that mistake and I nearly fainted. Was really dehydrated as well, because as I say, it does do that to you. It can cause cramps as well. I got cramps really bad, especially in my calves. So when I was doing a lot of cardio and taking my antidepressants the right way and not drinking on them, I noticed I start getting really bad cramps. Went over my ankles a few times because, like, with autism, your coordination can be quite bad anyway, so I used to be called Bambi on ice because I was so clumsy going around the place with my big long legs and being a dozy fucker that I am. But I'm also a hard worker, like I push myself, and I also need to be able to exercise to stay well. A lot of people do. I can't be sitting on my arse in the house all day because that's not good for anyone, but me in particular. I've got to be doing something. But I had to learn to take it easy, especially starting a new SSRI. Just thinking if I missed out on any of the side effects. Upset stomach's definitely one. Now, just won't go into any more detail with this. Diarrhea, you can get that, and I have. Which Lexapro has just wreaked havoc on my stomach as well, so I've had to take other supplements just to deal with that bad acid reflux. Difficulty getting food down. I know you wouldn't know what to look at me, but it's sometimes hard because my mouth gets so dry as well. It's hard to actually swallow the food. And then breakfast is a hard meal, especially with antidepressants. Breakfast can be very difficult. I tried intermittent fasting for that reason, and I might try it again. Sometimes I found it does work because I feel more receptive to food if I've done an activity before and I've been fasting while doing exercise. Like a fasted walk or something, just light exercise or a fasted cycle. Yeah, but that's Lexapro in particular with the stomach problems. All of the antidepressants have given me problems with my libido, my sex drive, which is a difficult one. If you're not in a relationship, then fair enough, that's alright, but if you like someone, you want to get in a relationship with them, it's kind of an awkward thing to bring up, isn't it? Can we hold off on that for another year or so? And I've experienced that with all of them. Actually, Lexapro has been the best for that. That's all I'll say on that subject. I don't want to go into the gory details anymore. Muscle spasms, as I mentioned. Sweats, yeah. Oh, of course. I was going to say this at the start. Insomnia. Really bad. And then, on the flip side, I can sleep 14 hours. My sleep goes to shit, especially... I don't know, it's kind of weird. When I start off on it, I sleep like a baby. Then there's kind of a weird period where I'm actually pissed off, like I'm frustrated trying to fall asleep. And I'm actually tired, and I just cannot drift off to sleep. Like last night, I did not sleep properly at all. And then at like 4 in the morning, I'll drift off and wake up, feel really groggy. And that makes you feel like shit, so it's kind of counterproductive again. Sleep is the holy grail of staying well, and lots of people neglect that. I wasn't necessarily neglecting it, but I just couldn't fall asleep. So then I have to obviously cut down the caffeine. That's a must. Have coffee later. If I keep looking away, it's because another symptom is just my eyes hurt and I get a headache. Which actually feels like there's something behind my eyeball. You never get those headaches, almost like a migraine. I have gotten migraines before and they're horrific, so I'll just need to really close my eyes for a while. The insomnia, well, I can drift off to sleep, but then other times I'm up all night and I just need to stay in bed and sit still, rest. I wanted to get a workout done today because I've got coaching on tomorrow. And I've also got a counsellor's appointment, so I like to give myself, when I've got a free day pretty much, or I've got time, I want to get a workout done. So I said to myself, get one done on Monday. Plus it's a good way to start off the week, you know, long walk with the dog and then get yourself a workout. And then off the coaching, Wednesday I'll try and get another workout done, but we'll see. I'll try and get 2 or 3 workouts done every week, but maybe I need a bit more adjustment to up and back to 10 milligrams of Lexapro. But that's the reason I come on and off it a lot. You know, like you can say to yourself, well, it's not very smart if you keep coming on and off, I know. But as I say, I have to be able to exercise, and I can definitely do more. And I feel stronger, feel more powerful and better, and the workouts feel more enjoyable when I am not taking the medication. So then why do I stay on it? Because I go from being really energized and feeling really good to severe depression. My behaviour gets more irresponsible as well, for sure. I guess with these, it kind of keeps me on the straight and narrow. Found a medication that does work for the most part for me, which is good. But it's a work in progress. I wish doctors didn't just throw pills at you, because there's a lot of good therapies out there, like the ones I've mentioned: CFT, DBT, and CBT. Like, there are great therapies out there, and if you try them first and you've exhausted every list, then you don't constantly have the cycle of coming on and off antidepressants, drinking alcohol, taking drugs, being dependent on stuff. Because just because they're pharmaceutical grade drugs doesn't mean you can't get hooked on them. I mean, we've seen what happens with the likes of Xanax, Valium, Oxycontin as well. I mean, we're taking a leap there, but you can really become dependent on it, and you can justify it to yourself. Doctors prescribe this stuff, so it must be alright. But it's not. So, go easy on yourself. That's the final message I'll say. Be easy on yourself. Don't expect to be hitting records. Don't be going for records. Just try and do the movement and feel good doing it. And I still need to tell myself that, because I'm a devil for not doing that. Probably shouldn't have gone up to 100 kilos today, but I'm happy that I managed to push through and get a session done. Not a great session, if I'm being honest, but I'm happy I got it done. Every session done, I say to myself, is a victory, because something is better than nothing. That's kind of the motto I live by. When you're depressed, getting off your arse and doing anything is better than sitting in bed all day doing nothing. So, yeah, keep moving forward and keep pushing through. And cheers to everybody who's watched the video so far. I'm hoping to grow this channel a bit more. Please like and subscribe, as all the YouTubers say. I don't make these videos to get any money. I'm just hoping that somebody gets something from it. I've already got a few text messages from people who have gotten something from it, which I'm absolutely over the moon about. Even if it just hits one person, someone can relate. Also, if you've experienced anything with antidepressants, or your experience of autism, poor mental health, please let me know. Chat to me. I'd love to hear as many stories as I can, because people have already texted me saying it's helped them, my story, so you never know, can help anyone. Alright guys, I'm not going to ramble anymore. Cheers. Thanks for watching.